Welcome to the Belpre plant. We're glad to have you here. Your safety is important to us. This brief video will provide you with the awareness and information you need to ensure that you stay safe at our facility.
The Belpre site was originally built by Shell Chemical in 1961 to produce isoprene rubber. In the 1970s and 80s, it was expanded and modified to become the first site to commercially produce styrenic black copolymers. In 2001, Kraton Polymers was divested from Shell Chemical and became its own independent company. Since that time, Kraton and the Belpre site continue to grow. The Kraton Belpre plant strives to protect the occupational health, safety, and security of each person in the workplace and others who may be affected by our activities. We strive to protect the environment and to comply with applicable occupational health, safety, environmental, and security laws and regulations. Our goal is to have zero injuries and zero process safety, environmental, or security incidents resulting from our activities. The Belpre HSENS management system is committed to the responsible care principles and is certified to the RC 14001 2015 standard. The Belpre plant is committed to provide material and service to meet our customers' requirements and to make continuous improvements in our ability to deliver performance. Our site maintains a quality management system that is certified to the ISO 9001 2015 standard. To ensure your safety, this video will cover general plant safety rules, potential workplace hazards, emergencies and evacuation procedures, basic facility guidelines for contractors and visitors. This section will cover the following topics: access control, general plant safety rules, emergency and evacuation procedures, potential workplace hazards, process safety management covered areas, and environmental overview. At the Kraton Belpre plant, contractors and visitors are expected to adhere to the same safety policies and procedures as Kraton employees. The Kraton Belpre facility security is regulated under the Maritime Transportation Security Act. Specific restricted areas of the facility are only accessible to those authorized individuals with valid TWIC identification cards. Upon arrival at the Belpre plant, all contractors and visitors must first report to the main gate guardhouse or visitor lobby to sign in and receive an ID badge or visitor badge. An official photo identification card must be presented to the guardhouse by each person requesting entry into the plant. If you are a contractor who will be performing work, your contractor contact will ensure that you receive the plant's contractor orientation course. This video is only a site safety overview and does not authorize you to perform work. Normal visitor access hours are Monday through Friday, 7 to 3:30 p.m. Access at all other times must be prearranged and approved by the Kraton contract coordinator. Visitor parking areas. Visitors should park in the parking places marked in the main office building parking lot. These can be found in the front of the main office building as shown here, as well as a second visitor parking area in the contractor parking lot. Contractor parking areas. Contractor parking is located east of the main gate. Contractors are expected to park their personal vehicles in the designated parking areas. Valuables should not be left in cars in any parking area. Cars should be locked with the keys removed. Vehicle pass. Vehicles are only permitted inside the plant by exception only. If necessary for business purposes, a vehicle pass will be obtained from the security guard and approved by the contractor contact. The vehicle must visibly display the vehicle pass on the front of the dash at all times alongside the plant. Driving your vehicle in the plant constitutes consent to inspection. The driver will assure that all vehicle occupants are using available seatbelts prior to operating the vehicle. Vehicle speed limit and pedestrian signs. The plant speed limit is 15 miles per hour on paved surfaces and 10 miles per hour on gravel surfaces. All other traffic signs must be obeyed. Drivers must be aware of pedestrians at all times. Pedestrians have the right of way. Vehicles must meet the following standards prior to entering the plant. Vehicles must be free of oil, fuel, grease, or product leaks. All vehicle lights must be operational. Seatbelt use is required in vehicles with seatbelts. Maintain seatbelts in good operating condition. The driver will assure that all passengers are using available seatbelts prior to operating the vehicle. No unattended vehicles are permitted to be running on plant property. Only under certain cold weather conditions may commercial trucks be left at the shipping docks or truck parking areas with the engines running. Please be aware of heavy equipment including man lifts, cranes, tractors, wastewater treatment equipment, trailers, heavy-duty forklifts, and powered industrial trucks in the area. Powered industrial trucks are used very frequently in the plant. Watch for such vehicles entering and exiting the buildings. Blind intersections. There are blind intersections located in the plant that require particular attention. Approach and pass through these intersections slowly with extreme caution. Walkways. While walking throughout the site, designated walkways have been established to provide safe access and pedestrian travel. Guidelines for cell phones and cameras. Cell phones are prohibited in some areas of the plant. You may use a two-way radio if they are intrinsically safe and authorized by the HSES department. Do not use cameras, cell phone cameras, or any other recording devices in the plant without the permission of HSES manager or the plant manager. Prohibited items. Alcohol, drugs, and firearms. The use of, possession, sale, transfer, or purchase of alcohol, illegal drugs, controlled substances are prohibited in the facility. Having any of these items within the facility will result in the visitor or contractor being removed and banned from the facility. Firearms and other weapons are prohibited within the fence line of the facility. PPE. Standard personal protective equipment, also called PPE, including an approved hard hat, safety glasses with approved side protection, safety toe shoes, and FRC clothing are required in all production and maintenance areas. Hearing protection and monogoggles are required to be carried on your person once passing the standard PPE blue line boundary. All PPE worn must be in good condition. Dark tinted glasses shall not be worn inside buildings. All contractors and visitors must wear proper PPE when entering the plant to perform work, troubleshoot equipment, or participate in a plant tour. Visitor PPE will be provided by your site contact. Contractors will supply necessary PPE through the respective company. FRC clothing must be long sleeves, and any loose or bulky clothing must be tucked in before working around machinery with moving parts that might become entangled. For your and everyone's safety, the following are prohibited in the work locations: dresses and shorts, sleeveless or mesh-type shirts, pant cuffs greater than 12 inches across, rings on fingers, earrings over ½ inch long. All Belpre plant employees are required to be free of facial hair in the respirator seal area as a condition of employment. Regular contractors or long-term visitors to the Belpre plant will be expected to comply with this policy. Hearing protection signs. In addition to our standard PPE, hearing protection must be worn at all times in posted noise areas. Smoking areas. Smoking is prohibited in the plant except in designated areas. The designated areas are clearly marked with signs. If not sure, ask your contractor, visitor contact. Emergency procedures, alarms, safe reporting locations, SRLs. Before entering an area, identify and become familiar with evacuation routes and exits. Non-departmental personnel, contractors, and visitors are required to sign in at control rooms as another component of ensuring your safety. To facilitate effective communication of potential hazards in the area and facilitate accountability of individuals in the area. Reporting an emergency situation. Emergency situations, such as a fire, gas escape, spill of hazardous material or hazardous waste, a medical issue, and a security event, require an immediate response. Actions taken upon the discovery of an emergency situation will often determine the extent to which the emergency develops. Emergency notification of a fire, gas escape, spill, or release is made by calling 111 on any plant phone to initiate the plant emergency alarm. The caller must provide his or her name, a detailed description of the area, and a detailed account of the emergency situation. A medical emergency should be reported to the dispensary or the PDS. A security emergency should be reported to the main guardhouse or the PDS. Dial 111. You should dial extension 111 on any in-plant phone and you will reach the Kraton emergency line, which will prompt you to select the emergency situation you would like to report, and then we'll connect you to the appropriate extension. Safe reporting locations, SRL. There are safe reporting locations installed across the plant. All control rooms and office buildings have at least one SRL. It is vital that you are aware of the closest SRL in the area that you will be located. When the plant emergency alarm sounds, every individual without exception inside the plant, Kraton employee, contractor, or visitor, must immediately go to the nearest safely accessible safe reporting location, SRL, and swipe their access identification card or visitor card at the SRL card reader. This process allows the plant to account for everyone on site. If you do not have your card or the card is not acknowledged with an audible beep when swiped, notify the SRL leader, who will call to manually account for your presence. The employee alarm system is tested weekly on Wednesday at noon. This siren is only a test. In the event of an actual alarm, detailed communication will be provided over the radio on Emergency Channel 1. Potential hazards at the site. Barricade tape. Barricade tape is a method to warn personnel of hazardous or potential hazardous conditions. Anytime barricade tape is used, an information tag designating the date, time, reason for installation, and name of person installing is attached in conspicuous locations. The tape shall be completely removed and disposed of when the hazard no longer exists. If a contractor does not have barricade tape, he or she shall obtain barricade tape from the Kraton contractor contact. Yellow barricade tape. Yellow barricade tape, labeled caution, is used to denote an apparent hazardous condition. Access is limited to those with immediate reason to enter and awareness of the existing hazardous conditions. Examples include excavation sites, abnormal work areas, and where less severe hazards are present. Red barricade tape. Danger do not enter tape shall be used in situations with a serious personnel hazard or imminent danger. Access is limited to only those with proper authorization from the person in charge. Examples of such use include line breaking, the existing hazardous conditions, or other area designated by the fire chief or person in charge of the area. Red crane barricade tape. Danger crane lift in progress tape is used to barricade the crane lift areas where people can be exposed to serious personnel hazard or imminent danger, such as walking under a suspended crane load. Access is limited to only those workers with proper authorization by permit. Chain barriers. Chain barriers are used to barricade roadways when unloading trucks or performing other duties adjacent to the street. The barriers are used to close the street to vehicular traffic. Pedestrian traffic should also avoid this area, and if necessary to enter, treat this as a yellow barricade tape area. Housekeeping. Everyone at the Belpre site is responsible for maintaining safe housekeeping. All areas should be kept clean and orderly. Housekeeping hazards will not be tolerated. Exit doors, exit routes, and all passageways must be kept unobstructed. All hoses, cables, and electrical cords should be positioned to eliminate trip hazards. Confined spaces. We have several types of confined spaces at Belpre. Examples include storage tanks, sumps, and excavations or trenches greater than 4 feet deep. All confined spaces shall have a sign posted at each entrance to the space. Visitors and contractors must be specifically trained and authorized prior to entering any confined space or participating in confined space work activities. This orientation video is not an authorization to perform confined space work. Low tow program. The site utilizes a lockout, tagout, or low tow program to prevent the unexpected activation or release of energy from equipment or processes. Visitors and contractor employees shall not operate electrical disconnects or isolate energy sources without authorization from the department the work is being performed in. All contractors will be required to follow the facility's low tow program. This video is only a site safety overview and does not authorize you to perform work that requires any type of safe work permit, including but not limited to lockout, tagout. If you are a contractor who will be performing work, your contractor contact will ensure that you receive the plant's contractor orientation course. Hot work and welding. All hot work performed in the facility must follow facility policies and safety procedures. Specific contractor training must be coordinated with your contractor contact prior to authorization to perform any hot work activities. Fall protection and PPE. Working at heights poses increased risk to worker safety. Personnel at the Kraton Belpre site are required to be protected from fall hazards at any working surface greater than 4 feet. Many tasks require specific personal protective equipment, or PPE, in order to protect the workers from potential harm. Any visitor or contractor activities must be properly authorized prior to use of specialized PPE, such as personal fall protection harness, specialized protective gloves, chemical protective gloves or suits. PPE users must be properly trained by their employer, and the employer must provide the PPE equipment. Ladders. Any person using a ladder must ensure the ladder is in good condition and must be properly stored after use. Metal ladders are prohibited in the facility. Chemical hazards right to know. The Kraton Belpre site utilizes many chemicals in the manufacturing processes. This next section will cover access to chemical hazard information. Safety data sheets, SDSs, for chemicals used in the plant are available 24 hours a day and can be accessed on the Belpre plant intranet. SDSs are also available in the HSES office during normal work hours. You may not bring any hazardous chemical into the plant without the approval of the HSES department. PSM, Process Safety Management. Process safety management provides significant benefits to the company involved in the processing of hazardous materials. The standard develops a fundamental understanding of how chemical substances behave under normal and abnormal circumstances. It also provides a framework for addressing critical activities, which can result in more reliable and predictable business operations with fewer losses. Other benefits the standard provides include enhanced equipment integrity, less production upsets, and improved uptime. Process safety management ultimately addresses the safety and well-being of workers and members of the community at large. The Belpre plant follows the regulations set by the OSHA PSM Standard 19-10.119 to prevent or minimize the consequences of catastrophic releases of toxic, flammable, or explosive chemicals. The Belpre plant is committed to help ensure that contractors perform very specialized and potentially hazardous tasks, such as confined space entry and hot work, will work safely and not jeopardize their safety as well as the safety of the plant's employees. Chemical hazards. We have 4 primary classes of hazardous chemicals at Belpre: flammables, corrosives, reactive, and toxics. We have eye wash stations and safety showers throughout the site. You should always locate any safety equipment in the area in which you are working. Environmental requirements. The Kraton Belpre site is committed to the prevention of spills or releases, compliance with all regulatory requirements, pollution prevention and proper waste segregation, disposal and recycling. REC-RAW waste disposal. Kraton will handle the disposal of all solid and hazardous waste. If you have questions about the appropriate stream for waste disposal, please ask your Kraton contact or the HSES department and the environmental engineer. Aerosol container. Spent aerosol cans must be placed in designated and labeled satellite accumulation drums located throughout the plant. Ask your site contact on proper waste disposal guidelines.
At Kraton Belpre, safety is a core value. We are glad to have you at our site today and hope that these messages about our safety and environmental policies and procedures are beneficial to you. If you have any questions, please stop and ask. Thank you, and please stay safe.